Consultants on Call, Solving Organizational Communication Problems. Welcome to the Mindy Grossman case study by SunGroup. Over the next few minutes, we will discuss various aspects of this case study and our recommendations. But first, let's meet the team. Meet the SunGroup team. Shelby Fulton, Strategic Solutions Consultant. Shelby brings 2 years of professional experience in customer service, specializing in client communication and reception management. She is skilled in handling high-volume phone interactions, providing administrative support, and maintaining a welcoming environment for clients and colleagues alike. Natalie Cherukian, Lead Research Consultant. Natalie has over 30 years of forensic accounting and business consulting, servicing clients in various industries from California to New York. So welcome to our Mindy Grossman case study. I'll briefly walk through the case overview and our main objective. We'll look at what was happening at HSN when Mindy Grossman arrived, and then explain what we're focusing on in this analysis. So when Grossman arrived at HSN, the company was struggling with low morale and unstable leadership. After leaving Nike of 6 years, she was recruited to lead IAC retailing. Before starting, she attended new employee orientation, which gave her a direct view of daily operations. By observing call centers and production work, she immediately recognized communication gaps and cultural issues. This helped her understand where improvements were needed. Our objective is to show how Grossman used communication to guide her leadership transition. We connect her early decisions like joining orientation to Jablin's entry and assimilation model. We also examine how her transparency strengthened morale and how socialization resources theory explains her impact on employee adjustment. Overall, we show that intentional communication supports strong, stable leadership. Next up, Shelby will talk about the key concepts in this case.
Yes. So for the key concepts, we have realistic job previews. Self-selection theory is when the job applicants get a practical idea of the organization, that they will have a practical assumption of the job. Then the inculcation theory is when employers will prepare applicants with the practical day in and day out of the job. In the case study, Mindy was experienced self-selection theory. Then we have organizational socialization, which is the process that gives new employees the skills, behaviors, and knowledge needed for the job. The socialization theory that are at play in the case study are onboarding, info seeking, relationship development, and role negotiations. Onboarding is when a company will welcome and situate new employees. Mindy went to orientation the first day, and that's the type of onboarding. Info seeking, relationship development, and role negotiations will be talked about in the more detail on communication strategies. But then the last key concept is disengagement. This happens when an employee will ponder the idea of leaving their current company and then does. Mindy had voluntary disengagement with Nike due to it being Mindy's idea to look for another job. And then we have the next slide.
Yes, thank you, Shelby. Next, I'll walk through the communication strategies Grossman used and how they contributed to HSN's cultural transformation. So Grossman used communication intentionally throughout her transition. She started with transparent recruitment, asking direct questions and showing humility. Her orientation attendance created realistic expectations. She observed operations, practiced empathy, encouraged learning, all aligning with Jablin's assimilation concepts. As she settled in, she promoted open dialogue and cross-department communication, and these actions supported cultural renewal and helped HSN become more collaborative and adaptable. This slide organizes her communication into 3 stages. Excuse me. During recruitment and entry, she asked clear questions and used orientation as a realistic job preview. During socialization, she listened, gathered information, and built relationships connecting to Jablin and socialization resources theory. During ongoing communication, she kept channels open, encouraged feedback, and supported collaboration, which reflects the metamorphosis stage. Next up, Shelby will discuss the outcomes and lessons learned.
Yeah, so the first outcome from this case study is with Mindy using the self-selection theory, she was putting herself in a position to be more successful as a CEO. This is because if she hadn't gone over to the company before taking the job, she may have found herself discouraged and stressed during the first day. But by being aware of what she was signing up for, she was ready to start working on improving the company. Another outcome was that Mindy's having a voluntary disengagement from Nike. She found herself with new rewarding challenges. She left Nike due to wanting to challenge herself in her career, and taking a job at IAC, she did just that. For lessons learned, we have that Mindy going to orientation her first day, she learned the skills and knowledge needed to be a successful member of IAC retailing flagship. Going on onboarding gave Mindy a deeper understanding of the job and what she was going to need to do as the new CEO. The last lesson learned was having the right CEO for a business can be very beneficial and rewarding for a company. IAC retailing flagship had a hard time keeping a CEO, and because of this, their company struggled. With Mindy, though, it seemed that she was up for the challenge and was ready to make the company what it is now. By doing this, now the company is valued at $2 million due to Mindy's dedication. Next up, Natalie will discuss how these concepts connect to the other chapters we studied.
Thank you, Shelby. So here we connect Grossman's leadership to concepts from earlier chapters. From Chapter 8 on organizational identity, HSN displayed signs of identity drift similar to the Port Authority case. Grossman helped reshape the identity by reinforcing purpose and consistent communication. From Chapter 9 on leadership and conflict management, her approach emphasized collaboration and transparency, which helped rebuild trust and reduce tension. And from Chapter 10, her actions show how authentic communication throughout the employee lifecycle, from onboarding to engagement, supports stability and long-term commitment. Together, these connections show how communication shapes organizational identity, leadership effectiveness, and overall culture. Next up, Shelby and I will discuss our recommendations for this case study. Shelby will be going first.
Yeah, so the first recommendation would be to utilize information seeking, relationship development, and information giving as a new hire. Information seeking will help the new hire understand their job better. Information seeking can give they can help find the do's and don'ts of a job. Developing a relationship with coworkers and supervisors will make the transition from a new hire to a regular employee smoother. Then the information giving will help by easing the minds of regular employees by letting them know what you can or cannot do, can give them a better understanding of you as an employee. The next recommendation would be to use the self-selection theory or the inoculation theory. This will improve the new hire success rate. People are more likely to succeed in a job if they know what they're doing before the first day. This is so on day one, they can go get right to work and not need to recover from the unknown. It decreases the chance of disengagement early on. Natalie, can you please talk about the other recommendations we have?
Yes, so thank you, Shelby, for going over the first set of our recommendations. And to build on the new hire strategies you discussed, our remaining recommendations focus on leadership communication. First, leaders should model transparency by taking part in onboarding and maintaining consistent communication with employees. That visibility reduces trust. We also recommend establishing feedback loops so employees feel comfortable sharing ideas. Open communication supports ongoing learning and collaboration. Applying Jablin's disengagement principles during leadership transitions can also help maintain stability and keeping communication clear and consistent. And lastly, emphasizing continuous professional development helps strengthen organizational identity and encourages innovation, even as roles or leadership uh, teams change. Next, Shelby will discuss the visual summary.
Yeah, so for our visual summary, I want to talk about the organizational socialization, which is found in chapter 10.2. The first step in organizational socialization is anticipatory socialization. This is the process before a person joins an organization. This can be broken down to vocational anticipatory socialization and organizational anticipatory socialization. Vocal anticipatory socialization is when an individual is picking a career path. This is influenced by you even as a kid, by your family, friends, experiences, education, and media. The organizational anticipatory socialization is when an individual is actually seeking a job. The second part of the organization is organizational entry and assimilation with Petrie impression management and entry and metamorphosis. Petrie is the limbo of being offered a job that has not been accepted yet. Impression management is when an individual is trying to make an impression on other people. And entry is the first day the individual steps foot into the job. And then the last is metamorphosis, where the individual becomes an actual member than just a new employee. The last part is organizational disengagement and exit. We have voluntary and involuntary disengagement. Disengagement is when an employee resigns from the job voluntarily. Then involuntary disengagement is when the employee is forced to resign from the job. Mindy went through all three of these stages in the case study, from wanting a different career path to gaining a new career and going through the challenges of a new career. Mindy didn't do number 3 with her new company, but did do it with the exiting Nike. Next, Natalie and I will discuss our key takeaways.
So, to begin our key takeaways, the first lesson is that listening first leadership builds trust and credibility. Grossman showed how observing and understanding the organization early on strengthens leadership effectiveness. Our second key takeaway is that transparent communication contributes to lasting organizational change. Clear, consistent communication helps align teams, it supports morale, and creates the conditions for meaningful change. With that, I'll turn it over to you, Shelby, to share the final 3 takeaways.
Yeah, so my first key takeaway is organizational socialization is a crucial part in having a successful and productive employee. Then I have realization job previews to help with adapting to a new job. And then the last key takeaway is onboarding is important to give new hire skills and knowledge necessary for the job.
And before we conclude, the only source used was our textbook, Organizational Communication by Wrench and Colleagues from Flat World.
Yes, we hope you enjoy our presentation. Well, until next time, goodbye.
Bye, thank you.